Early this morning, Melbourne time, the Australian-born Mary Donaldson became Queen of Denmark as her husband Frederik replaced his mother to become King Frederik X. They sealed it with a kiss in front of a crowd estimated 100,000. The King got quite emotional, wiped away a tear, and he promised Danes to do what kings should do: unite.
At blive en samlende konge af i morgen. Det er en opgave, jeg har nærmet mig hele mit liv. Det er et ansvar, jeg tager på mig med respekt, stolthed og stor glæde.
I see many Australians, especially Tasmanians, loving the idea that even one of us can rise to royalty.
Good luck to her. Good on her.
Good on her.
Good on him. Yeah.
Good on her.
Oh, it's wonderful. Finally, an Australian on a throne somewhere.
He seems quite at home.
Good day, and let us start with a truth bomb that landed harder than a budget surprise in Canberra. King Frederik did not ease into Denmark's top job. He did not tiptoe, test the waters, or politely wait his turn. He walked straight onto the throne and immediately started moving pieces like a man who knew exactly how fragile power can be if you hesitate for even a second. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to Royal News Daily and click the notifications bell icon. That way you stay informed, entertained, and one step ahead while everyone else is still catching up. Now, here's where things get interesting. Frederik's first moves were not ceremonial fluff or feel-good symbolism. They were deliberate, structural, and quietly disruptive. Behind the palace walls, administrative systems were tightened, advisory roles were reshaped, and communication channels were modernized. This was not about waving to crowds. This was about control. The kind of control politicians dream of but rarely achieve without backlash. Think of it like a new prime minister walking into Parliament House and immediately rearranging the seating plan, rewriting briefing protocols, and changing how information flows, all before the opposition has time to warm up. That is the energy Frederik brought to the throne. Transitioning quickly, let us talk tone, because tone is politics in a tailored suit. Frederik shifted the monarchy's voice almost instantly. Less distant, less rehearsed, more direct. This was a calculated move to reconnect an institution that risks sounding out of touch in a world addicted to immediacy. In Australian terms, it was the equivalent of dropping the scripted press conference and actually answering questions. Then came visibility. Frederik did not retreat into tradition. He stepped forward. Climate discussions, defense symbolism, youth engagement, and international diplomacy were placed front and center. This was a king who understood that relevance is currency. Spend it wisely or watch it devalue fast. Here is the hook that caught global attention. Frederik framed his leadership as responsibility, not privilege. That subtle shift matters. It signals accountability, and accountability makes institutions uncomfortable. Supporters praised the clarity. Critics warned of overreach. Sound familiar? That debate mirrors every major political shift we see right here in Australia. Now, let us bring Queen Mary into the frame, because no power shift happens in isolation. Frederik's early moves were amplified by a united front that projected stability, modernity, and intent. Not sentimentality, not spectacle, strategy. Together, they recalibrated how the monarchy presents itself to the public and the political world watching closely. Another sharp pivot came with messaging discipline. Public appearances became tighter. Statements became sharper. Leaks dried up. That does not happen by accident. That happens when leadership decides that narrative control is non-negotiable. In politics, whoever controls the story controls the battlefield. Critics argue that Frederik moved too fast, that tradition deserves patience, and that monarchies thrive on gradual change. Supporters counter that hesitation is how institutions fade into irrelevance. Frederik clearly chose momentum over comfort. Here is where the suspense builds. Modern monarchies walk a tightrope. Move too boldly, and you unsettle loyalists. Move too cautiously, and you lose the next generation entirely. Frederik's opening moves suggest he is willing to risk discomfort to secure longevity. From an Australian political lens, this is fascinating. Leadership transitions are often paralyzed by fear of backlash. Frederik's approach flips that script. Act first, explain later, and let results speak. So what does this all mean? It means Denmark's monarchy is no longer coasting on history. It is actively negotiating its future. Frederik's first moves were not shocking because they were reckless. They were shocking because they were intentional. The real question is not whether this power shift is bold. It is whether it can be sustained without burning political capital. That answer will unfold over time, but one thing is already clear. This was not a quiet beginning. Thank you for watching Royal News Daily.